Okay, so we're going to work on the mag now. So we got this brand new Taiwan Teddy kit here. It's supposed to allow you to adjust the mag. This one's all rebuilt by Morris Mags. It's supposed to work. Who knows? Okay, this is a duplicate of the factory stuff here. I'll give you. They're in a tin can kick the last couple of years for some reason. A waste of money. Okay, so this is what they give us. So basically, it's a lever that mounts onto here that will rotate the mag back and forth. And they have a little cable that goes on here, which is right here. And you hook that up to your handlebar control, your throttle control basically, for your spark, advance, and retard. It'll move it back and forth. There's also one of these that went off of the screws that you off here for the coil, where they pinch the coil in. They put longer screws and put a lever on here that sticks out, and they got a handle out here to move it back and forth too, if you want to do it mechanically, external. Well, this one's made for a cable setup. So I don't know how they made all this stuff, so we got to figure this out. See if they made it good or bad. So basically, this goes up into here. You mount this solid into here, and that's your base. And this piece here goes underneath it, so it can rotate. This whole piece will rotate. This goes onto the mag over here. The mag has slots up in here too. There's a lot of adjustment on those stuff. So first thing I do is make sure this fits inside of this piece here. And there it is. It appears to be fitting. So there, it's hard to do in one hand. There we go. So this has a gasket up here, so you don't have to have a seal below it if you don't want to. So this slot here is for the adjustment screw that goes in here that can adjust your front and back movement. So it looks like they have little screws that go in there, which I'm not seeing. They conveniently do not give you the screws to do that. Wonderful. So, nice kit. No screws. So those are usually really long screws, about this long, real small diameter, like 8s, or like number 8 threads. So yeah, they don't give you any of that shit. Wonderful. Okay, these screws here. Okay, these are oval head screws. Usually don't use oval head when you gotta have a flat piece like that. Use a flat head screw. See, this one's flat. This is oval head. This is the wrong screw. So those are bogus. So instead of giving me the long screws I need to adjust the mag, they gave me some crappy screws I can't use. These are the screws that go in here. They're flat, so when it's all done, it sits flat on this. These bolts here go inside of here and bolt it down. And this is supposed to be across the top, I'm assuming here, bolted to that. So that's good, that's good. This here goes inside of here for that, and then that looks like about it. So they cheated us out of the hardware we needed. So basically you got a fully retarded and a fully advanced position, and adjustment screws are supposed to control all this. So it's a very, very nice kit. Typical Taiwan Teddy. I'm missing half the crap you need. Okay, there should be 2 screws. I only see the one. Guess we're going to only have a fully advanced position, to be my guess. Alright. Now when this goes down like this, there's a couple of different seals they've used over the years. They use a seal that looks like a regular seal that goes in there, and they just have a big flat rubber band that goes in there, which would be one of these ones we didn't use on a kicker, remember? So either the small one or the big one. Let's go with the big one. There's also a seal like this that they used to use also. That's a big seal. Resembles this one here. So one of these here is going to work. Now technically we don't have to have any of these because we have a gasket here. but that does not keep the oil from coming up the shaft here. You have to have a seal for that. So here's our small one. See, that's obviously not going to work. Here's our bigger one. Obviously that's not going to work very well either. This is our normal seal. And it looks like that's the one that's made to go in this one. And it's also tight here. So there you go. So this particular cover uses this one. Like I said, they do different things over the years, so that's why you got to have different options available. Okay, so this is just going to basically just beats on inside of that. And it'll have to go down low enough to clear this. So we got to measure the height of this and make sure it'll work. Otherwise we're going to have some issues. Because as I recall, this setup here uses a fixed mag that's not adjustable. And the rubber one there is the one that goes with this, because this pinches against the housing down low and then has the housing go through here. But we'll see. So first thing you do is get a measurement. So we are right there, about 9/16 tall. Come over here and look at this. It's going to be hitting against it. The gasket's definitely needed for clearance. It's going to be close. So this thing's going to get jammed in there pretty far. Now if this seal hits against the bottom of the cutout down in there, it kind of quits working. So if the bottom of this seal hits the shoulder down here, it's not free to move, then this seal does not work very well. And it looks like to me like it's going to be jammed in there all the way down until it hits that. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So the seal will have to just figure out how to make itself work. Okay, I get a punch to knock that in there with. Okay, so I have a punch here. That goes inside of that. That's a plus. So that's just going to go in there like that. Get our hammer here. He flushes easy, see? Just knock it down a little bit further with this. Okay, we're just above bottom out point right now. So you can see how the seal still has room to work here underneath. See how it's not hitting right now. So we're this high up, which I think is probably more than that. We'll be close. So with the gasket on there, it should just clear. It should just work. So hopefully it does. Alright, so that might actually work, shockingly. Now technically you don't need this gasket if you have it all sealed up like that, so. But we'll put it in there anyway just because we have it. Okay, now I gotta figure out what we're gonna do about this problem here. They failed to give me a hardware we needed. So there should be a long screw with a spring on it, so you can adjust it and it'll stay put, like a carburetor adjustment would be. And the screw goes into here and controls how far you can advance or retard it. So it looks to me like the screw is only going to be the height of, you only have the width of this slot here to retard and advance your mag, which is not very much. So you got the distance from about there to there. That's very little adjustment. It wouldn't be very good. Now if you go over to here, you have more adjustment before it hits. So this one gives you a little bit more adjustment ability here. See, it goes from here to here. Kind of like that better. Gives you a lot more than right from here to here, obviously. Alright. So there's no other holes or anything in this thing, so I always thought there was 2 screws on this originally, but I have had them when they had 2 screws. You can adjust fully advanced and fully retarded. This one looks like it's fixed on how much you can get. Okay, so I'm gonna go see if I can find me some kind of a screw to go in here. Maybe I'll luck out and find one. Probably not, but we'll see. I'll be back. Okay, I found a nice long screw here. I don't have any springs, but I did find a little jam that I can use to hold it. So we're gonna see how this works here. No, we didn't need that, did we? Okay, so this just goes in here. There's a little Phillips screw here. So just kind of tighten it up a little bit. Okay, so I don't know where this needs to be, but it needs to be at least inside the slot to even work. You probably have to go past the end of the slot to make it work, so we'll try this. Okay, this goes in here like this. So I can control how far to adjust this right here by moving a screw back and forth here. So I get more retard. So one way is retard, one side advance. I'm not sure which one's which. I have to figure that out. So the more you do it like this, the less movement you get here, see? So if you adjust that thing way in there like this, you get very, very little movement. Once you find out what your bike likes, you don't have to, you can limit how much travel you have on these things. See, that's almost locked out now, see how it barely moves. So I'm going to go about halfway, I think, like that. That should be plenty of retard to make a mag bike start. We'll put that there for now, just initial adjustment. See if we like what we got. Not sure what the slot's for, but it fits in there too. Okay, so I need to figure out how all this goes together under here. Now, sometimes the mags are forward, going this way. Sometimes the mags are going backwards this way. It just depends on what it takes to make it time. Sometimes they got to be like this to time correctly. Obviously I want to be over here at this position here to make it work right. It's a matter how this worm gear matches up to the worm gear on that cam, and sometimes they only work one way or the other. Sometimes they don't work at any spot. When that happens, you get to take the cam cover back off, pull that cam out, pull that worm gear off, move it, put it back on, and try it again. They also sometimes move on you, so you got to weld them in. That happens too. So this is a straight slot screw. I'm going to go ahead and pull this cover off right here so I get access to the inside of the mag here. See if it looks like they set things correctly. A bit of missing screws inside of the mag. That'd be different. At least I got the right plug wires on here. See how it says copper conductor? That means a solid core. You can also see the solid wire in there. You want to use solid core only wires on Magnetos and point bikes. Suppression core is for modern crap. On the old stuff you want all the power getting to your plugs. No suppression, no resistors, no nothing. If If you have suppression core plug wires or resistance spark plugs on a mag bike, it'll probably never run. Okay, this gasket's on here pretty good. There it goes. Oh, it's some kind of a rubber gasket. Fancy. There you go. I have no idea where it's going to be at, so we have to figure that out too. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is put some lubricant on that seal. There you go. Oh, I wanted to put some oil in there, I forgot about that. I'm going to put some lubricant inside this cam cover. So we're going to fill it up a little bit. That might be too much. It has to drain down, I guess. Must not be an open hole. First oil leak. Great. Made a mess already. Well, it's lubed now. Guess I'll pour it in through the generator over here. Yep. No more oil in that hole. It's full. Blow out the bolt holes there a little bit. Go. Good as new. Hey, what mess? There's no mess. There's no evidence of that anywhere. Vicious rumor that somebody did that mess. Okay, so right now what we need to do is figure out where our Magneto is going to be at. So you have to figure out where it's going to fire at. It's going to fire here or it's going to fire over here. Probably fires on that side. I forget which way they move. Let's see, on a regular bike it runs counterclockwise. So this runs clockwise. So this is our leading edge. So we want to put it on our far end mark over there and drop the Magneto in, and we want this to be about in this spot here, because when that point just cracks, that's where the timing is supposed to be. So we need to figure that out. The other thing we got to figure out is down here. So all this stuff's supposed to be under here, which I have no idea. So I think we're just going to have to mock this thing up and see where we come in at. Some kind of a reference point and go from there. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and put this on here. I'm going to use the gasket here. So I have no idea where I'm supposed to be right now, so we're just going to go ahead and put together and do a dry run on this. Okay, so if it goes in right there, the screw's way in the back where you can't get to it, so I'm going to turn it 180 degrees. But over here we can get to it. Gasket's in the wrong spot. So we're using the flathead screws, not the oval head here. looks like I'll go with either set because if they're recessed down enough it would work. So you can see how the screws are recessed down right now. So this oval head right here would have cleared there. So that's a backup set of screws, I guess. Okay, now we got to figure out where the timing mark's going to be at here. Okay, so we got to turn the motor over and find out where we're at. Pull your timing hole plug out. Compression. Suction. Okay. You put your striver in the hole. Basically about 7/16 of an inch down is what a timing mark would be. So it's probably pretty close about in that area right there. I can go over here and look, and it looks like we just missed it. So back it up a little bit, come back to it. So that's 45 degrees advance, which is what these old bikes run on. 1000 motors run on 39 degrees, starting in 73. They change the timing marks on these motors. 72 on back is 45 degrees. That's why they run better. Had better gas in 72 instead of 73. Gas took a crap in the early 70s. Okay, see, I don't need to have these here because I know how to figure out where I'm at over there. But if you're over here turning the motor over, you can see these going up and down, you would know. Okay, so now as I drop this down inside the hole, this is going to rotate as it goes across this worm. So which way is it going to rotate? It should go this way. So it's going to make the points crack. So I'll purposely put it in over here a little bit. So when I go down, hopefully it'll be about in the right spot. Looks like I got pretty close. First shot. So there's our point. See, it looks like it fires somewhere about in this area here. So it looks like we're okay. Looks like the bolt will go right into here. The screw would have to be, okay, it goes, okay, to advance it we're going this direction with the distributor. So that means the stop would be here, which means we're good. If we were over here, see, we have no room for a bolt. So all of this is working out pretty good. It looks like it's not going to run a tack. It's either got a tack drive plug in there, no tack. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be about in this spot here is where we're going to wind up being. So the bolts have to come up here and hold this. Now here how loose that is. That's going to let the whole Magneto vibrate and bounce all over the place, which pretty well sucks. Because it's going to be, got clearance and everything. So you got a lot of clearance in here. See how much clearance you got? Up and down. So you can take that out with some shim, if you made some kind of a circular shim. Or we can take the stupid gasket out that's not needed anyway, and that'll drop it by a little bit, and that will help slightly. Because otherwise this whole magnet is going to kind of bounce around all over the place. So the gasket's not really doing anything because it seals off the seal anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that gasket out and not use it when I put this together. Okay, so this looks like we're going to be somewhere in this area right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the felt tip pin over here. And we'll find one. Here's a red one. Doesn't matter what color we use. So I'm just going to mark that right there so I know where I'm at. That should get us pretty close to what we want. Okay, now I'm going to take this fancy thing here. Obviously it's not going to go this way because this way here would not work too good for hooking anything to. This is going to go over here. So the cable will come back across this back cylinder area, I guess, to make it work. So that looks like it'll go in that direction right there, which should work. Alright. And you can either have the cable high or low. It looks like you got clearance to go either way. I'm not sure what bracket they use for the cable. The cable's going to have to come through here. I don't know if it'd be up high would be better or being low would be better. So determine how you put this on there will determine that. I'm going to let him play with that because I don't know what he's going to use for a cable. So we're going to leave this off for now. I'd rather have it down low so the cable hangs down low and looks a little cleaner, but don't know. Okay, these are the bolts they give you. They give you no washers. And you have this big wide ass slot up under here for the bolt head to be a problem with. So if you put a washer on the bottom down there, it would help it a little bit. So I think I'm going to put me a washer underneath this to help spread the load out a little bit. And this bolt here you're going to have to put on first, obviously, before you put it together. Which makes it a little bit harder to do, but not too much harder. Okay, so that's going to be fun. Alright, I'm going to get some washers and I'll be back.